Hello, I'm Andrew Fuster and welcome to this week's edition of Western Perspective. Tonight it's budget time again for Western Australia and the state government is aiming to return WA to surplus in 4 years. But while the government has good intentions for the state, many are divided about whether the budget is helping them. Premier Mark McGowan and Treasurer Ben Wyatt said during Thursday's budget the government's efforts to repair the state's finances and return WA to surplus would be fairly distributed across the state's community, including public and corporate sectors. Big business will be hardest hit, with large corporations footing an extra 6% if their payroll exceeds $100 million. Gold miners will also be targeted, with miners facing a tiered gold royalty rate determined by the gold price. The government has also limited its spending for the next financial year to 2.4% to encourage low spending across 4 years.
My team and I, the Cabinet, the Treasury, the Treasurer and I, have been getting on with the job of turning the finances around. The economy is showing signs of recovery. Confidence is beginning to grow. And this is only a good sign for the state budget and also for the West Australian economy. With this budget today, we are restoring responsible financial management.
Nearly 20,000 jobs are expected to be created as part of its plan for jobs, expected to encourage investment into science, technology, manufacturing, tourism, services, education and agriculture. The government will invest significant funding into key job-creating initiatives, including schools and local projects. Its MetroNet plan is also expected to create thousands of jobs throughout each project, with an expected $1.34 million to be injected into the project. Funding will remain for the Royalties for Regions program, with the government continuing to finance it despite claims the program is in jeopardy. There will also be no forced redundancies across the public sector, despite aiming to produce better services at a lower cost as part of its public sector reform.
I think there'll be understanding as well. I think we've gone to great lengths to limit its application, both in terms of time and in terms of the number of corporations it applies to. I hope there'll be understanding. This is something that I think everybody, and when I move around corporate WA, the first thing they say is that, you know, you've got a hell of a job and you're going to have to make some pretty tough decisions. I hope I understand this is one of them.
However, Opposition Leader Mike Nahan said the budget was a budget of betrayal and broken promises. Shadow Treasurer Dean Nolder said Labor did not follow through on its promises.
Look, we see particular vulnerabilities in the expense lines. If you look at health, if you look at police services, if you look at the road traffic and road safety, we're seeing cuts in expenditure in these areas in real terms. When we went to election, the Under-Treasurer stated that it was important, irrespective of who won government, that we pay down debt. What we've seen in today's budget is an increase in debt from $32.5 billion through to $43.6 billion.
The state government said good news is on the way for WA, with its economy expected to grow by 3% in the next financial year.
We have now set the budget on a path to return to surplus, which will lead to debt reduction over time. As I have said before, there is no magic solution to the situation Western Australia faces. But with responsible financial management, we're getting the state's finances under control and in turn getting Western Australia back on track.
And that's all for this week. Back to you, Ivan and Taylor.
Andrew, thank you. Our main news again this week. Multicultural leaders fear the federal government's citizenship reform will create a new underclass of permanent residents in Australia. The Turnbull government's legislation package is struggling to pass the Senate after crossbenchers Nick Xenophon team joins Labor and Greens to block the bill.
And that's Sunday evening news and Western Perspective. You can follow the latest news on our website and Facebook. Take care.
Until 5:30 next Sunday. Good night.